Hey, welcome to the Father, Son, and Title Show podcast, episode number 3. First things first, I want to thank the official sponsor of the Father, Son, and Title Show, Jersey Mike's. Give them a big shout out. We've got some information we'll be sharing with you guys about Jersey Mike's here in a couple minutes.
Forgot about that.
Or are you ready?
Already.
All right, go ahead and share that.
Okay, I wasn't really ready. Jersey Mike's is helping with Give to Give. It is 100% of the sales donated to the Special Olympics USA Games. And so they are partnering with the community to help raise money for that. It is Wednesday, March 30th, all day long. That's all I got. I don't really know where to give the money to.
I think it's when you go and maybe buy.
Oh, here
I
you
think
go.
You're giving.
Here you go.
You
She
got
sent me
it.
a better one. Kind of. Yeah, so if you go to Jersey Mike's in Bedford, you can help participate in the Give to Give there. They're, again, supporting the Special Olympics USA Games in Orlando this year. March is the month of giving. Talk to their team there and figure out what you can do to help support that cause.
There you go. Always good to give. And if you go by there, Ruby's the general manager. Shout, tip the workers very good, and order lots of sandwiches. Jersey Mike's, again, official sponsor of the Father, Son, and Title Show. So, due to the weather, that bad weather that really wasn't that bad, although I did fall. We'll talk about that later. But it didn't end up bad. We had a guest, and we had to cancel that because we thought the weather was going to be worse, and it's fine. So, unfortunately, we had to cancel on our guest. We will reschedule her very soon. But today we have a special guest, and his name
His son.
he is the son of the Father, Son, and Title Show.
You know, we're not from here. We're not from Texas. Been in
No.
Texas for a while now, about a decade. So I think we're honorary. But every so often, I don't know if you know this about me, but I can be a bit of a troll on Facebook. And so I said, "Wow!" Yesterday I posted it. I said, "Wow, Texas shut down because it's cold outside." Thought it was funny. There's no real ice. It wasn't snowing. And then people decided to jump on my posts and my messages and remind me of the people that died last year in the 100-car pileup. Say, well,
That's not funny. That's
if
not
it's
why I'm
if it's cold outside, I guess pileups happen like that.
Very true. Very true. At least in the areas that we were in, it wasn't very bad. Although, like I said, I did walk out of my garage.
It's
and
embarrassing.
I did fall, and yeah, it hurt a little bit. So it just didn't get, I guess, as bad as we thought it was going to get in our area. So concerning the podcast, we had to cancel on our guest due to her safety. We didn't want her driving what we thought was going to be probably a little worse weather. So, anyways, moving on. We are here today. And so I have Christian Alva, who is the son of the Father, Son, and Title Show team. And what we'll do is we'll just have him as a guest today, and we'll find out a little bit about him, what he's doing. Then we'll talk about the Father, Son, and Title Show podcast forums on what the whole goal was. So it actually kind of worked out, I think, to be here today and kind of share a little bit more about what we're trying to do. Get going. So, Christian, who happens to be my son, of the Father, Son, and Title Show. Who is this Christian?
You're gonna stick to the questions.
Who is this Christian Alva of the Father,
That's
Son, and Title
hilarious.
Show podcast?
I am your son.
True?
That's it. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. Got a 1.5-year-old little girl and another girl due really any day now. So stoked about
Yes.
that. But also need all you agents to send me more deals so I can afford this second kid that's about to be here. But no, none of that. I never thought I'd be in title. So I remember growing up seeing you working in title and wanting all the money that you were making because we went on a bunch of trips. And I had new shoes all the time. I'm going to keep saying this because my younger brother, gets so mad. Dad brought me new Nikes every couple of weeks and new Jordans. And he didn't buy. I know, but that's the story. You didn't buy me
No,
new
I
Nikes
didn't.
every couple of weeks. I got a couple a year, like anybody else. But yeah, no, I never thought I would be in title or real estate. Never really had an interest. So now that I'm here, it's been a lot of fun and had a good time. Enjoy working with you, much as you annoy me. He calls me at least 5 or 6 times a day for no reason. I'll say bye to him and say I'll talk to you tomorrow, and then like 30 minutes later, there's another phone call from you. And if I don't respond in like 2 minutes, did you get my call? Texting me. Did you get my text? Did you get my last text?
I'm turning into my dad.
Oh,
This
it's
is
terrible. It's
basically
so
what's
annoying.
happening. He used to do the same thing to me.
I'm like, man, I have a life. Give me 5 minutes.
All right. So prior to coming to work for Texas Secure Title, and again, Father Son and Title Show podcast sponsored also by Texas Secure Title, of which we both are marketing reps for the company. So big shout out to Texas Secure Title. They're doing some great things, and we're trying to help push the company forward and do great work. So prior to coming to work for Texas Secure Title, share a little bit about what you were doing and where you were.
Yeah, so I spent the last couple of years out in California with my family. We were student pastors out there at a church. And man, had a lot of fun with that. Always wanted to work in the church and the ministry and do all that. And so that was a blast. Learned how to lead a lot of people. I look back now because when I was doing it, it was like, oh, like this is just kind of my job, right? Gotta lead the ministry and do all that, have a team of people. And then hindsight, I'm like, oh, I had a team of 25 people ranging from 18 to 30 that I had to figure out how to lead and develop. And so figuring out how to do that and having fun with that, and obviously going through COVID, it was a lot harder shutdowns in California than out here. But learning to navigate all those things was in my head, because I feel like I failed often out there trying to do that, but actually very beneficial to what we're doing now. And learning how to just lead in general and work with people of all kinds of different personalities, and I think learning how to not be offended by things.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That you're working for a church is got to be so careful about that, because that's the one place you don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah, and I offended plenty, often.
Yeah, but that's a place where I think you just got to be so sensitive. Not that you're not in the workplace as well, but church or working for a church is somewhere where you're constantly got to watch everything that you're saying. That very super all the people around you.
Yeah, and it was a blast, and really just got a crash course really on customer service, learning how to deal with people and smile while you're doing it, and learning how to not lash out, and then understanding, right? Because you get an 18-year-old kid that you think is mature for their age until you put them in a real life position, and they're years old, and it's tough. Or vice versa, you're working with a 27-year-old that might be acting like an 18-year-old kid, and you think they need to grow up a little bit. And navigating those things was fun. But happy to be back. We're back because I want my family to grow up. All my family's out here. My wife's family's out here, so we wanted our kids to grow up here.
Definitely love California, but I've come to love Texas probably a little bit more, other than the beaches in California, which I do. But you can always go back and visit for a few days. So definitely loving Texas, and I think going back to being working as a pastor and working in church, obviously I tapped into a little bit of that years ago with you being a young youth, and I remember going to pastor and saying, hey, we need something here for the youth, and he just turned around to me and said, well, then do it. That was a small church, obviously, but just kind of going after and learning how to do that. I mean, you just get thrown in there, and just like, okay, start figuring out what you can do. And I didn't have all this Facebook and everything back then doing that, but we did what we could, and I think we had some fun. And you definitely learn about people and about parents, and especially not wanting to offend parents and hurt them when you do to their kids. So
yeah, don't get me started.
Yeah,
not enough time on this podcast.
I'm sure you got a bunch of stories there. So, but you come back, and now you've jumped into title side, and like you said, though, you've been able to use a lot of those ideas and tools that you develop on this side now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, almost all of it. It's kind of crazy to me when I think about it because, again, right? It's moved out there to be the student pastor, and there was some things in the church like they were a little technologically like behind, right? They weren't huge on social media. They didn't have a big video presence, and I was no expert on it either. Like I hated being in front of a camera. I didn't know how to do any graphic design. I didn't know how to edit anything. And so when COVID hit out there, it was a crash course learning all these things because it was an immediate pivot to, okay, Christian, what are you gonna do? We can't meet in person now. Good luck. Well, okay, it would have been nice if we had these other platforms up and running, but the fact that we didn't pushed me to learn. Right, I had to learn how to edit video. I had to learn how to preach to a TV, a camera, and on a screen. I had to learn how to utilize Instagram and social media to actually connect with people beyond just a post or picture. And so when we came out here and I started this job, I recognized a lot of the same things. Of just like, hey, most people in title, especially in any of the companies, aren't real big on social media. Maybe COVID took out some of the things because of some of the shutdowns. Even though I know it's more laxed here, it
Yeah.
was but there's a whole new way to connect with people via social media, text messaging, phones, FaceTime, Zoom, whatever it is that isn't being tapped into. And I think the fact that I didn't know anything about real estate or title when I started, I kind of was ignorantly bliss and was just like, this is what I know how to do. And so
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump into this and utilize those skills and utilize how often to communicate with people, how to talk to different people, reading people, and those same things that I learned in ministry of, again, just talking. Like so much of it's just communicating is what I just brought right on over to this, along with the practical skills of some of the graphic design and videos and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that goes, and I think that's a good lead into what we're trying to accomplish, both you and I, right now, with the podcast and the different social media platforms and the forums and the things we're trying to do
Yeah.
um, right now. I don't know that they're all going to work. They probably not, but some will work and some won't, and we'll learn our way through it, and we'll probably fail our way through it. John Maxwell says, if you fail forward.
Yeah.
So we will fail. Everyone fails, but we're going to fail forward trying something new and innovative and different. So that's what we got going on right now, and it's bringing us out of our comfort zone. We always tell everybody, well, you got to get out of your comfort zone. And for me, definitely, because I'm not social media savvy,
Yeah.
even doing all these things totally different and taking us out of that safe place
Yeah.
that people want to stay in.
Mm.
So so again, coming into the podcasts and platforms and all the things we're trying to attempt, um, share a little bit with what your mindset is, thought is, what we're doing right now with the show and the platform, the reasoning behind.
Yeah. So again, I think this whole thing is just coming down to a marketing play. I said on social media yesterday or 2 days ago, that really the podcast is not for promoting ourselves. Like we're gonna benefit from it, and I fully believe in that. But we genuinely want to promote realtors. I know for me, I love working with new agents, right? If they've been in the business for a year or two or less, those are my favorite people because they're still learning, and so maybe they're a little more forgiving to me. But beyond that, they're more open to trying things, do whatever they can do to grow their business. And so when you start getting that creativity going, you start pushing people and bouncing ideas off one another. One, we just they realize like, hey, like we're cool. Like we're not here trying to be shady or do anything crazy or anything like that. We genuinely just believe in helping people. And so with this podcast, it gives another tool for people to promote their personalities, promote who they are beyond the picture and the post. Because it's so easy to just get lost in miss. You can miss tone in messages. You can miss tone in emails and marketing stuff, and you can look stuffy when you're not trying to look. You can look pretentious when you're not pretentious at all. But like I look at my own headshot and I hate it, and I'm just like this. Why? I don't even dress like this, and here I am in this headshot, and I don't know how I come off to people. So I want to take every opportunity I can to show them my personality, and we want to give that opportunity to people, especially um, if they're just looking to really grow their brand, what this platform's for.
Yeah, and that was the key. I think when you and I both discussed attempting to do these things is to highlight our personalities, and not necessarily our personalities. I think ours will come out because of what we're doing.
Sure.
But to highlight the agent or the lender or
Yeah.
whoever we're working, your personality, and showing at this while we're doing the podcast, while we're doing all the videos that we're trying to do, and really moving in that direction. Video.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
what we're focusing on. Again, like you said, not because we necessarily want to be on camera or have our have this big dome on camera, but it's showing the agent, the lender, anybody in the business that you should be doing this. So instead of just telling you you should be doing it, utilizing video and social media, we're actually doing it. So the hope and the goal is to say, do what we're doing in your own way and however you see fit, but use social media and use video to promote yourself and highlight. Again, like you said, if I don't know you and I just see, I'm going to make my own, I'm going to form my opinion.
Yeah.
And even though you think that picture is great, and it may be great, but it may not come off, like you said, in the tone that you wanted it to, the audience,
Yeah.
and to the buyer and the seller and customer, clients, however you want to put it.
Well, yeah, and I think that's one thing I've learned pretty quickly is your intentions almost don't matter when you're putting stuff out. It's only how you're perceived, taken in by the other person. And so, yeah, so any opportunity you get to show more of yourself, that's what you got to do. And, you see it in a couple of my clients and friends. They're posting more and more video and doing stuff. And you can see even the growth in it because it's like, oh, your first ones are really awkward. But now there's a couple more and you're getting more comfortable and you're showing more. And really, really what people want, at least in this generation and one below us, below me, that's like 3 generations below you, they want like insight into people's lives.
Yeah.
Show me you're a real person. I'm not interested in all your Photoshop pictures, even though that still grabs attention.
Yeah.
I want to know who you really are.
Exactly.
I want to know who I'm working with.
I think one of the videos we put out where we put out our,
Yeah.
which got the most play and it not maybe not even the most play, but the most interaction on just videos, people commenting, because the very real side of all the blooper videos that we make.
Oh my gosh.
And the fun that we have in doing that to generate 1 30-second video.
Yeah.
Just over and over. Sometimes I've done on myself, by myself, a video by myself with you not even there. I remember once it took like 60 attempts to get a 30-second video. I'm like, man, how long? It's the work, and then again the bloopers and just the what it takes to generate a. It's all fun.
Yeah.
It's all good, and there's a lot of work. So I think, but for us, highlighting that part of our personality, messing up, and then finally we seen that we got the most the realness is where people interacted more. Oh, I like that because you guys are showing.
Yeah, I mean, even a new client of mine, she told me, she was like, I don't know you, but I'm reaching out because your video was funny and I thought it was really cool. And now she's listed us on 3 of her houses that she's selling. And she's like, yeah, like that's the point. Is somebody was telling me the other day, they're like, hey, like, you want to work with all these people, they're big names. And I said, yeah, absolutely. But I said, but more than that, I want them to want to work with me. I want them to want to see what we're doing. Say, I want to be a part of that. How do I go and get it? And for us, it's very easy. Just ask, and we'll bring you on to any of our platforms, onto the podcast, do a video with you, promote you, whatever it is. But that is, for me, the goal is, hey, I want those big names that are out there to want to see this, and if they're innovative and creative, want to work with us, because that's at the end of the day, isn't that what we should be going after? Yeah. I don't want to be 50 years old, no offense to you, but still chasing people.
49.
Okay, 49. That's 49. What you say. But still out there trying to chase people. I want a reputation big enough to, oh, those guys are super cool. Christian's really awesome, and they stand behind what they say. There's no catch. There's no, once you start working with them, now there's payment coming. No, it's all free promotion, helping you marketing, and then genuinely just love building relationships.
That's the key. That's the truth. I love what you said about us wanting clients to want to work.
Yeah.
I was hearing something about creating value. What value do you bring marketplace,
Yeah.
title rep, marketing rep, whatever you want to title us? What's the value that you're bringing? So I've always shared that with you, and I'll continue to share it. I don't want to be the donut king bringing in donuts, smiling and waving. I want value. What we're creating right now with the video content platforms, value. It's different.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a little bit to catch, but we're confident enough to know that it will catch if for the marketplace moving to more media platforms
Yep.
with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok now, and everything else, getting out there and promoting your way. So you're gonna generate more than on this platform that out there or was there
Yeah.
because further away moving into this. So trying to jump on that as from what we do as a title company, title reps, and again bring value in it. So podcast totally created to highlight client whether we work with you or not.
Mm-hmm.
We want to highlight you because we know that brings promote yourself. Podcast is just
Yeah.
along platforms that generate. So I think that's key. Bringing value to yourself. I heard somebody say that want to bring value. Don't work on your job. Work on.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
If you work on yourself and become more valuable in the marketplace, in your marketplace, then you can. If you work on your job, you can make good money if you work hard at your job. But if you work hard at developing yourself, you'll make.
Yeah.
Where do you want to be? Of those two.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, obviously the fortune, right? Who doesn't want more money? But also being able to look back and say, hey, I impactful everywhere I went. Not, oh, they replaced me very easily. They didn't skip a beat. Like if I'm ever gone or if anything ever happened and we not working where I'm working, then it's just like, oh, I want that. I want me to not be able to be replaced that easily. I want just know that I'm making a bigger impact beyond just the job title or the job description, above and beyond, but then like your character has to reflect that. Like you can only front for so long. Like we can't pretend to be nice guys and be full of integrity if we were terrible people behind the scenes, because we would fail and that would become noticeable at some point. Sometimes it takes longer for it to get out there, but at some point we would be like, oh no, the truth finally came out. And I think you see that often, a lot in any business. And so for us, I know even here, like we hold each other accountable, walking in that integrity, staying behind our word, pushing each other forward, and or even doing what we said we're gonna do. Like, the amount of times you text me, did you do that? Did you make that flyer? And I'm like, I've sent it to you 4 times already, but here it is the 5th time, made still.
Exactly.
But I think those things are important to help continue to grow and to help just I don't know, keep you on the right path, really.
Well, once you put it out there, now you're accountable.
Yeah.
Whoever you said, this is what we're doing, and you don't always. But we're discovering it, and not only just in this, but in life. If you have to, in order to be consistent, then you got to constantly do what you said you're going to do, right?
Yeah.
But you don't always feel like doing that. I didn't, even getting here to the podcast. Yeah, you come off stuff. You've got a lot of stuff to do, but then hey, you know what? Want to? Said we're going to.
Yeah.
Even if we had to cancel our guest due to the weather, well, the podcast has to.
Hey, I just want to I want to reframe that. It is terrible weather outside. Our guest is not here, and my dad and I trekked through to make sure that we got this out for you guys today.
There you go.
I'm gonna paste that at the beginning. Get rid of the other thing.
Exactly. So, yeah, I heard something again. I listening to a lot more podcasts, listening to a lot more YouTube about just better person after things you want. One guy was sharing a story and he said He was talking to some, well, something about how much are you making, or like, well, I'm making what the job pays, what the company pays, and right, he goes, because that's all the company will pay me. And the other guy says, well, no, yeah, he goes, yeah, you got that right. That's all the company will pay you, but what the company pays me, it's a lot more. It's a lot more than what it pays you. And he's like, wow, I never thought about it that way. He's like, yeah, well, because again, your value, if you become more valuable, the company is willing to pay you more. Well, but if you're just focusing on what your job is and not working toward being more valuable, then you're not going to get that payment. Why should they pay you?
Yeah, and how often do you hear people? And it's crazy because I've said it myself, and I always thought, hey, when I hit a certain age, or people hit a certain age, their mindset will change, which is the biggest lie you could ever say. But hey, well, I'm just trying to do my job. I'm just doing what the paper says. I'm doing the bare minimum, and then they get mad with, well, why can't I get a raise? Well, you're doing the bare minimum to get paid what we agreed to pay you, and it's just like, no, like those are the people that are making more. Just like you just said, the people that go above and beyond are the ones that are going to ultimately get paid more. Yeah. And if it's not at that company, another company will come in and say, hey, you're doing a lot. You are so valuable to that company. I want you to bring that value to me, and I'll pay you for it. Yeah. And then you just jump over there and go do it. And yeah, it blows me away. I remember I'm not going to name any people, but just knowing people that are just like, I don't know why I'm not getting a raise. And I'll ask that question, like, what are you doing to deserve it? Well, I'm working my 30 hours. I'm doing what they tell me to do. Doing it with a smile? Like, or are you complaining the whole way? Are you doing it quickly and efficient? Or are you kind of dragging your feet because you want a pay raise but showing no reason why you deserve one? And like those things are huge, man. Like the older I get, and maybe in this business especially, it's just like, no, that is so important. Getting out of that entitlement mindset of just like, no, you're gonna get what you deserve, and if you make a pay raise, then you deserve more. If you get promoted somewhere, then you deserved it because you earned it, and that's more fulfilling than anything else, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that was probably some of the best advice I ever got years ago in the title business. Was my boss coming, Mark, offer a value of help. Go out in the market, offer a value, whatever that is. I can't tell you what. Develop that.
Yeah.
It may just be a person. It may be follow up. Whatever it is, but always work on the offer.
Yeah.
And I noticed it in my career years ago when I thought about that and I actually started doing it, and things started changing. It wasn't just about popping in the office and there's not much value to that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's none.
But everybody does that.
Yeah, but yeah, so again, you start creating what's your value? Value of help. Client, customer, what are you doing? Those things are broken down so many different ways, and everyone's different.
Yeah.
But and just constantly working on more value of yourself, which will
absolutely.
So, again, so we'll backtrack. Let's look at time here. Okay, so
you talk so much.
So the platforms. Share a little bit about what we're trying to do on the social platform outside of the podcast, but the platform itself, Instagram.
Yeah. So Instagram and Facebook are the main ones we're on. We're on TikTok. We're experimenting, but trying to figure TikTok out. So we'll get there. But no, I mean on those platforms, really, I think it's kind of maybe twofold. Is we are wanting to also put any clients or any people that we meet with on there, promote there, get their info out there, promote them. I know we try anytime we do a lunch or have a meeting, get a quick video in with them, even if it's just 20 seconds, 30 seconds, but it's their face, their name, their info gets put out there. So adding value to people that way and helping promote them that way, but also adding resources. So I know every day we have a topic that we'll do a quick 30-second or a minute video on. and it's helpful stuff. Whether it's a mortgage tip, title tip, a real estate resource, Monday motivation. That's your thing. Monday
Yes.
motivation, and and stuff like that. Then also clips of our podcast that we put on there for added promotion. That. But again, just creating a platform for people in real estate to come in and say, hey, I know if we go there, we're gonna get promoted well. And I know if we go there and I'm looking for a house, there's probably an agent on the other side that's selling that exact house I'm looking for. And so really creating a hub for people in real estate to come in and connect and interact, get promoted, but also build relationships with other people. I don't know if
So
you want to add anything to that.
yeah, so the platform, the Father Son and Title media on Instagram, Father Son and Title on Facebook. But the ultimate goal is, as we continue to get the clients, get any and all agents, lenders, real estate people come and share their listings, share their
Yeah.
info, their promotions on those platforms. And whether we're working with that person or not, we're working on creating a platform where you can come and share.
Yeah.
And if you share a listing, then you and I may have all it's going to be is filled with agents of the industry. So if the agent comes and shares a listing, you might have somebody else, like you said, on the other. I was looking for that. Call that guy real quick.
Yeah.
Let's make. So again, we're not trying to just create something that only for our clients. We're trying to create something for the FW area, all in itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, and I like that concept. Shouldn't just be about, oh, it's only about me. How can I benefit off of it? No, I have value. Then you're not afraid to create a platform. Everybody can, whether we or not, share and that I'm benefiting off of those platforms
Yeah.
itself because they've got tapped into something all agents can, not a helping.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I think the table's big enough for everybody to eat, and we will get deals, and people like him. People have their own reps that they like using, people that they love working with, and we show people that's cool too. Like
Yeah.
I'm 100. I think loyalty is awesome. I think you should be loyal to people that have treated you well and served you and do all that, and also just let them know like, hey, like I'm available if there's ever an emergency. If you need a backup, title rep, you're already building trust with them, and you're not even trying to steal them or take them away. It's just, hey, if you ever are in a pinch and you'll remember me, and you keep doing that and creating a hub for people like you said, and I think that's gonna be a game changer, for a lot of people. They realize like, hey, this, especially right now, like the market's going crazy, houses are flying, and it's just like, no, like everybody can kind of participate here, and you'll be good. And if you're hustling, you're still gonna make your money. Like that at the end of the day, like if you're gonna get rewarded if you're willing to put in the work, and it doesn't matter what the market looks like or who you're working with or what somebody else is doing. At the end of the day, like you and you'll reap what you get.
Yeah. So again, kind of to start wrapping things up as we're running out of time here. If you're an agent, lender, anything in the real estate related to, we want to get you show.
Yeah,
We want
absolutely.
to highlight you. We want to talk to you. We want to get to know you, and at the same time promote you. So as you see this and as you see what we're doing, it's all geared toward highlighting and promoting you, our customers, our clients, our peers, and hoping that you'll catch on. And then the content that we're creating. Now, this is one thing I wanted to say. The content, like you said, the mortgage tip, title tip, we're constantly trying to get those better so that the agent on the other side, lender on the other side, can actually our content.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So that we're all looking for content. And that's the hard part. Like, what can I put on Facebook? What can I put on Instagram? I don't know. Again, but our goal as Father, Son, and Title is to create content ourselves and then hope that you'll share it on your platform.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to be good real estate content.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my content the other day was me making a video talking about how I'm trying to think of for 30 seconds.
Yes.
Yeah, but
yes.
that even sparked conversation where somebody threw a message at me and was like, hey, well, what do you think about making something? Like, oh, yeah. And so even
Yes.
getting out there and asking those questions of like, hey, what do you want? Let's ask our agents, what do you guys want made, and we'll get it made for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's great because, yeah, we don't, again, we're not the experts, but we are the ones right now doing and stepping out on a limb.
Yep.
I said on one of the Monday Motivation, never had something, you want something you've never had, then you need something you've done.
Yeah.
Right? So here again, if we want better clients, we want a better platform, we want a bigger market share in the, then me and you have to do something. We've never done a podcast.
Yep.
I don't know anything about a podcast. Oh,
Me neither.
so when you see it, it's not about, oh, we're these guys and we know what we're doing. No, it's we're these guys, a father-son team, and we're trying to capitalize on one father and son, because there's not a lot. I don't know of any other one right now in the DFW area that is working this. So let's capitalize. The logos that we're generating. I don't know of anybody doing that. So let's capitalize on it. Let's be a little bit different. So all the things that we're doing right now are things we've never had, but we're doing things we've never done, and we're stepping out on a limb. And like we said at the beginning, may or may not work. And it may or may not cater to every single person out there. But again, we're going to step out on a limb and try it. Our logo next year may be different.
Yeah.
than our two big heads out there and caricatures. It may catch, but then again, it may work.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of comments, and you've had comments from agents, that lenders that we're talking with that are saying, hey, you know what? I had a lender last week. I had lunch with them. You know what? I rarely respond to anybody message on Instagram, Facebook. But when you did, I like what you're doing. And it's different. I just responded because what you're doing is different than what everybody else is doing. I don't even remember how I messaged him. But I probably just said something like, hey man, let's get together, have some coffee or lunch. I'd like to meet you.
Yep.
And that was his thing. Like, oh, that was different. To me, I'm like, well, then what is everybody else doing?
Man, I don't know. I mean, I've seen some things. I ain't gonna put like Fidelity on blast or anything, but it's funny because I think what we do is also very self-involved, especially on the podcast, because it's funny.
Yeah.
And usually we're just trying to have a good time. But I think there's a difference between being like, oh, self-deprecating, we're gonna kind of laugh at ourselves, and then being so self-involved where if I'm reaching out to you, all I'm doing is talking about myself.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, let's have coffee. Like, well, no, you already told me everything about yourself. So your email was 3 paragraphs long. I got it. Where something like that, she's like, hey, let's go, no agenda. Let's go have coffee. Even though everybody knows the agenda, we all want to do business together.
Exactly.
But hey, no bona fides. No, this is what I can add to you right now. Let's just go grab coffee and talk if we like each other. I honestly think that is the difference. Is I'm not, and you're not. We're not so insecure that I need to tell everybody every little thing that I'm gonna do or I've done or add, can add to them or whatever. It'll come out organically, and we'll talk and we'll answer questions and we'll have a good time and laugh, and doesn't love a free lunch too.
Yeah. And again, coming back to any business, whatever type of business, doesn't matter what type of business, it's developing a strong relationship.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. I've been out of title, and when I came back into the industry, despite all the technology that I now have that I didn't have back then, one thing, and I've shared it with you, ask the question. Okay, maybe email is not the biggest thing as it was when my day, but text might be.
Yep. Just
respond back to me, and I'll share this story again. And I've shared it with you. You know all my stories, but they don't.
You only have 5.
So yeah,
you tell them again and again.
It's like a preacher. A real good preacher only has about 5 sermons.
That's
man,
true. That's
so
true.
it's just the way he delivers them.
Yep. Different audiences. That's the most important thing.
Invited to different places so he can preach that same sermon, right? So, But I'll share the story of the agent that, and I won't put him on blast.
I think you should. I think you should
Maybe
put
we'll
on
just
blast.
highlight his name. No, I won't put the agent on blast. But when I met him, he's like, "Hey, Mark, again, when I call you, I need you to answer me. But when you call me, I'm
Freaking Joel.
I'm probably
Freaking
not
Joel
going
Ruiz.
to answer you. Joel Reese, I love your home realty. No, okay, you might have told me that, but hey, you know what, Joel? Shout out to Joel and Josh, Vicky De La Cruz, and
All the team.
yeah, the whole team. Carlos, you guys, the team there. It was up front, and you're one of my best clients. So the fact that he would be up front and say, "Hey, I might not be able to answer your call," and it was honest. It was honest.
I love
and
that.
I love it. Yes, but when I call you, you need to answer. All right. So you know what? And the fact is, you know what? Hey, you don't even bother me. There's no bother at all. You don't even call me that much. But hey, if that's the thing that got you, and then obviously the customer service title side of servicing and closing the deal,
Yeah.
then you know what? All day long.
Yeah.
All day long. And great what we do. But I don't mind that because it's just and what you want. But if that's it, then man, that's at the top. That's the because I specialize in communication
Oh yeah.
and returning text, a call, an email, a message on Instagram, Facebook, and you got to be on it, man. Those things they may not seem like work, but you know what? It takes.
It is work, man.
It is work.
It's the hardest part of my job.
Yes.
But the simplest.
And it develops.
Yep.
That relationship. For us, as title reps, as execute title, focusing on that, and for the father son, focusing on the big, all the tools. If we don't, so, again, it's what we want to share. It's what we want to promote. This end. So, if you want to be on the Father, Son, and Title show, what do you have to do?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna do the whole promo.
I figured I'd share it.
I was pulling up a different thing for Ruby. I wanted to redo Ruby thing
Oh, okay.
because I bombed it earlier. Yeah, just shoot us a message, shoot us a text, phone call, get a hold of us somehow, and we will schedule you in next opening for the podcast. So very easy.
It's very simple.
Communicate
right?
with us. Yes.
Yes. If you want to make a video and promote yourself, even outside of the podcast,
Yep.
call us. We'll go to you. We'll create a short video.
Do that.
Yeah, we'll fill the content. We'll do the interview. We'll talk because it's probably something we enjoy doing.
Yeah,
right?
probably too much.
Yes. But if you're not about being talkative, talk for you. And we'll highlight
It's
you
true.
at the same time. So it's really, really easy. Want to promote yourself, want to get more on social media, give us a call, and we'll basically do it for you. Best part is that it's
Free. Absolutely free.
promotion. You should take.
All right, last thing. Redo
Yes.
this for Ruby. March is the month of giving, so Ruby, the GM over at Jersey Mike's in Bedford, is helping support Give to Give. It is giving to the Special Olympics USA Games that are being held in Orlando this year. So if you would like to give and participate in that, stop by Jersey Mike's in Bedford, talk to them, and they will help set you up in supporting the Special Olympics this year. So that is it.
There you go. Yes, please support. Let's continue to give. The more you give, not only to Jersey Mike's and this, what they're looking to do and giving, but if you give in life, it's going to come back to you.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
All right. So we look forward to our next guest. Next week, we'll be making a promotional video for that.
Yeah. Oh, Laura and Zach.
Laura and Zach. I
Yep.
met Laura. Big shout out to Laura. We actually did an interview with her.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know Zach, but I'll meet him, and we'll definitely promote him, and we'll have some fun. We look forward to that promo video. That obviously will be coming this week, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody else, take care. Father, Son, and Title Show. I'm the father.
Son.
And this
Not doing that with you.
And this is the Father, Son, and Title Show podcast.
Yeah.
Signing off. See you next week.
Bye.